Steven,
William,
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Detroit Lions fans, we're back with another one. Hey, listen, Detroit 313 loves the Detroit Lions. I want to preface that with this episode because I think that we're going to need to refer back to that when we get this conversation going. Steve, please talk to the people what we're talking about today.
All off season, William, we've said that one of the biggest question marks on this team has been James Houston. We've talked about it. We've used phrases like one trick pony, not a lot of tools in the shed, just kind of a pass rusher. And I didn't realize that James Houston had such a huge following until what back in March, April.
Yeah, things got really rowdy.
Sitting at home, enjoying a nice peaceful night, playing Call of Duty, just absolutely showing kids the art of war. And get a phone call. Hey man, there's some stuff going on YouTube where we are personally being called out for our take on James Houston and are saying this. So here's my question: is I hope that people who watch this show come with the same energy that you came with back in April, March, whatever month it was, where we were called idiots, clowns, everything under the sun. And how could you guys not believe in James Houston? Like he had 9 sacks in 8 games. Williams, James Houston wasn't even on the field on Sunday.
Was it because he was injured?
No, he was not on the injury report at all.
Healthy scratch, you say?
Essentially, in hockey terms, yes, healthy scratch.
Yeah, so, listen, Steve, I'll say this because I love what Chef Steve is cooking over here. But listen, I'll say this, guys, we're joking around and we really got busted up really bad for our take on James Houston. So this is just us poking a little fun a little bit. You know that we do not get on here and just hate on our Detroit Lions. We're cheering for these guys all the time. But what we are going to get on here and do is be honest and be critical if we need to be critical. James Houston has shown over the time that he's been in Detroit that he has pretty much one trick in his bag, right? And they're trying to develop him, and we are cheering for his development, just haven't seen it yet, right? Every time he's been out there at Sam Backer and he's had to go into pass coverage, it has not been a great situation. If you watch the film doesn't lie. This isn't us trying to throw shade, right? Now, we went into the season, and we talked about him this offseason. Steve, you can attest to this. People were coming on here still and telling us, oh, you guys are forgetting about James Houston. You guys are also forgetting about Matthew Betts and all of this stuff and this and the other. What you guys got to understand is this. The NFL is about you either have a body of work that we can refer back to and you are still young and healthy and able, because it stands for not for long, right? Or you have no body of work to refer back to, right? That is consistent. I'm not talking about a flash in the pan. I'm not talking about something that they haven't seen, so it works for a little bit until these guys adjust to it. I'm talking about season after season, 2, 3, 4 seasons of work that has shown that you can be consistently productive. Haven't seen that yet. I hope we see it, but I will be honest, I don't think that we are going to see it. So James Houston was a healthy scratch. My question to you, Steve, is do you think that James Houston is going to this season? I'm not going to go into development because we're not going to crucify anybody for their career. But over this season, do you think that James Houston is going to be the impactful player that his following, his Houston, we have a problem following, believes that he will be?
When we're talking about James Houston stats, we have to go back to 2 years ago, right? Because he didn't play last year. And will he make an impact play this year? It's possible. Likely. I'd probably bet on it. Yeah, he might have a sack. He might have a pressure. Do I think he's going to have 9 sacks this year? No. I don't know if he gets into 9 games, if I'm being honest with you. This isn't a knock on James Houston. Look, we all wanted him to be that guy, and I get it. Everyone's argument for him not playing last year is, well, he didn't choose to break his ankle. I've broken my ankle before. Doesn't take 15 weeks to come back in the NFL from. All right. You don't, it just doesn't, it's not an injury that ends your career. It's 6 to 8 weeks max. 6 weeks, most likely. You have the best trainers in the NFL. You got time to heal. You got medicines being pumped into you. Everything can go your way.
Yeah.
Broken my ankle, was not out for 15 weeks. Okay. And I get it. I'm not an NFL player. I'm not out there rushing quarterbacks. There's some give and take, but I still know that we called it out last year. Like, it's fishy that this ankle injury is being turning into a season-long thing to where he doesn't come back until the playoffs. That injury happened in week 2. All right. We're just reading between the lines. What we do here is we follow the breadcrumbs, follow the hints, follow the clues. He was left off of the active roster last year for a reason. He was left off of Sunday's roster for a reason. He was a healthy scratch. Absolutely. His name was not mentioned on any injury reports. Do I think he can make a play? Yeah, I mean, if we get into a situation where we need a pass rusher, if you, me, and 15 other guys get hurt in a car accident and we're not available on Sundays, then we might be talking James Houston, all right?
I think that I agree with what you're saying, and I think that James Houston, man, he's a guy who, if you put him in the right situation or circumstances, he can have impactful plays. But he's not a guy that is a 3-down defensive player, and he's probably got about one more season to develop into it. Otherwise, he's probably going to get into that realm of where he becomes either a lifetime special teamer or he's out of the league. That said, I'm cheering for him, man. I did see him. I got there early last week, trying to get in there and get my bobblehead, man, and get situated. Excited first week of the season. Excited to watch our boys, man. And he was, he was at the facility. He was at the field, running around and warming up, without his stuff on. So he had on headphones. He was out there running laps. He was out there doing moves. So he's ready to go. I like that his attitude seemed to be positive. He didn't seem like he was being a Debbie Downer. He didn't have a scowl on his face. He was still, talking to the guys and joking around a little bit. So hopefully there's a time where, not because of injuries, but because he just fits schematically what we're trying to do for a week here, a week there, he can get on the field and make some impactful plays. And then hopefully over this season and, going into next offseason, he can develop into that Sam linebacker role that they're looking for and provide some depth. But it kind of seems like, and I know this isn't a Derek Barnes show, but it kind of seems like Derek Barnes has kind of stepped into that Sam linebacker role and kind of put it on lock.
It's his job to lose. I think he's just the best option. Like, you're not going to take him off the field unless he's injured. Even if Barnes got injured, do you think Houston would be the next guy in?
I don't know that Houston would necessarily be the next guy in, but I think that Houston he would probably get on the active roster, and it would be that mixture of like him and Malcolm Rodriguez, like us trying to figure out how do we create Derek Barnes production out of the personnel that we have. Maybe even you see Jerem get in the mix, because I'll tell you this, I truly believe that Derek Barnes' pass rush ability is underrated. That's something when I went to go look at Jack Campbell last year, because I was like, Jack Campbell's frame, I like everything about Jack Campbell's frame besides his arm length as far as being a pass rusher. So I'm like, and the Lions have tried him, before at that pass rush position, and it didn't work out like they wanted to. And he's a Mike backer, and I get that. But you don't know until you try sometimes. They did the same thing with Derek Barnes. And I was like, as I was looking for Jack Campbell plays, I ran into Derek Barnes bull rushing off of the edge. I'm like, whoa. And then I comes to find out that he did that in college too, after I started really digging into it. And I feel like he offers, maybe he's not as good of a rusher as James Houston is, but what he offers as a Sam linebacker isn't even close, right? So, I mean, I think that's why they would ultimately probably activate him and kind of do situationally try to fill his role.
Here's the thing, William.
Talk to me.
What I think of the difference between Detroit Den 313 and a lot of other shows is, I think we're humble enough to admit sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we make educated guesses with very little information. All right. We stood on an island about James Houston and said, he's probably not the guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's not playing, hasn't played, injured, world's longest ankle injury. If for some reason he comes into this season and he gets the same production he had as a rookie, 9 games, 8 sacks, whatever the number was. I can't remember. If he does something like that, I guarantee you, I give my word as a man, we will come on here and say, hey, maybe we were wrong about James Houston. Maybe we were, okay? But I'm just betting that his impact is not going to be the same as that rookie year. And I wish it is. If we're talking James Houston in that same 2022 stats, if he does the same thing with this defensive line, with this secondary, I'll be buying rounds of drinks at Bourbon Street for the Super Bowl, because that's the type of impact we could use.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's coming.
Yeah, I think that makes us different too, man, because we're not cheering against these guys, and we make educated guesses and then hope that we're wrong. I mean, like we say, even when we talk off air, we're cheering for these guys. They're all Detroit Lions. They're Lions for a reason. These guys are trying to feed their families. Listen, if you're in Detroit playing for the Detroit Lions, trying to feed your family, please, no, we are not cheering for you to play bad.
No.
If you are out there on that field or you're a part of this team, we're cheering for you to be an absolute beast, because we want nothing but beasts being put out there. So James Houston, I don't know, man.
Find it. We want you to find it.
This and this lights a fire under you and you get 27 sacks, we will come on here and hey, maybe we'll come on here with some James Houston jerseys. Like it's we're cheering for you, buddy. So just do your thing.
Just for some more context, I'll just admit a time where I wasn't 100% wrong, but I was scared when we drafted Sam Laporta. I was terrified. And I don't know, we had that was 2 years ago or 1 year ago. So we were podcasting then at the time. I think I said it, like, I'm emotionally scarred from Eric Ebron. I've gone to therapy about it. I've talked to people, like that dude messed me up emotionally. So anytime we've drafted a tight end after that, TJ Hawkinson, same feeling. Sam Laporta, I was like, man, I don't know. Like, is a tight end the right move here in the second round? Like when we're rebuilding, now he's borderline all-pro, best tight end in the league. So I have been wrong. It's very, very few and far between. I didn't say Sam would be bad. I didn't say he's going to be the worst tight end. I didn't say he was going to be Eric Ebron, but I do remember saying, like, I'm scared. The tight end position scares me. So James Houston, like you said, if you go out, you have 27 sacks, I might get a Houston tattoo on me. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, but
he better get a sack for the Super Bowl win.
Yeah. If you sack Lamar Jackson to seal the deal in the Super Bowl, or Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, whoever it is, I don't care. We'll have a conversation, but we want to see you succeed. We're not cheering against you. We're cheering for you. It's just, and I get it. We're not NFL scouts, or I've never received an NFL paycheck. Just a dude in his office and a dude in his basement, just talking football. No credibility, I guess, but sometimes we're right, William. Sometimes we're right.
Yep.
Hey, I'm going to end the show and say that the chefs have cooked for you guys today. Stick around, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.